Organ transplantation, vaccines, and safe consumer products are the benefits of lab animal research, that's preclinical trials. What kind of life-saving surgical procedure? For example, nowadays we are doing complicated surgical procedure like bypass surgery. So without having experience with the preclinical trials or preclinical experience with the lab animal models, we can't go straight away to the human models or human trials. So the experience is most important, like complicated surgical procedures, even the cancer therapies, organ transplantations, vaccines, etc. Like consumer products, nowadays in day-to-day activities, we are using cosmetics like talcum powders, creams. There's a lot of perfumes we are using. So all the consumer products are before tested with the lab animal models. So without confirming the dermal toxicity or the side effect of the particular product or cosmetics, we can't able to use directly to the human being or the human trials. So that is why all safe consumer products and preclinical trials are very, very essential. And treatments and cures for numerous other medical disorders and diseases also the impact of the benefits of animal research, especially lab animal research. So what is mean by lab animals? Before going to vivarium, before going to animal house facility, or before going to lab animal facility for executing our research protocol research, we could understand what do you mean by lab animal research, like who can do lab animal research, why we are doing this kind of preclinical trials, where we can do. I think the fourth question I'm going to answer as vivarium. Then fifth one is when and what occasions when we can do lab animal research. So when we know the answer for these five questions, easily we can understand the preclinical trials with the lab animal model, or simply we call it as lab animal research. I am not in-depthly concentrating on other questions. I am going to concentrate on where there is a place, where the place we can do lab animal research, that is vivarium. We are going to discuss in detail. So as far as concerned the lab animal research, the first question, what is animal research? Any research program or any experiment or any research protocol project involving animal models for the purpose of advancement by new discovery or new invention, which will be useful for saving life, which will be useful for the human society. We call it as animal research. So simply we can say, what is animal research mean? Any kind of research if you are going to do with animal models, we call it as animal research. Nowadays we are using lab animals for our animal research. That is why we call it as a lab animal research also. So that is animal research is nothing but research we are dealing with animal models, or we are executing with animal models. That is lab animal research. Then who can do this kind of preclinical trials with the lab animal models, or who can do this animal research? Anyone can do, like scientists, postdoctoral fellows, research scholars, postgraduate students, professional students, industries like new drug discovery students, and regulatory authority like the contract research organization can do. But getting the proper approval of the protocol as well as the proper approval for their lab animal facility like vivarium. So, so anyone can do if your work is novel, if your work is a research problem or protocol is novel one, new one, you can do lab animal research after getting the proper approval from the competent authority. Why we are using lab animals? For example, instead of computer simulation or instead of tissue culture, animal tissue culture, why we are using lab animals? Why unnecessarily we are going to sacrifice the animals? Simply some animal welfare activities are asking such kind of questions. The organs and the body system similar to humans and other animals, susceptible to the same disease that affect humans. Further, the short lifespan allows animals to be studied throughout their life, entire life. For the environment easily controllable to keep the exotic variables to a minimum. Why I am telling this organ body system can mimic the animal. For example, the mammals, especially the rodent, can able to mimic the complete organ system of human being. That is why if you are going to test with that animal model, mammalian model, rodent model, easily we can able to apply that experiment to the human trials, the clinical trials. Then, for example, there some diseases are susceptible to animals also. So, if you are going to cure that particular disease in animal model, easily we can able to apply for human being. further, if you are going to test the particular compound or particular substance throughout the entire lifespan of the particular organisms, we can use the lab animal models because the lifespan is 2 to 3 years only. So easily we can able to get the result. So that is why, in these reasons, we are using lab animal models. Further, cell cultures we are using, but the cell cultures can mimic some aspects of biology only. Not as complex as organ system. So that is why we are using the complex organ system like a whole animal being. The computers, for the computer simulations of the bioinformatics tool, we can get results in some aspects only. For example, the computers can mimic some aspects of biology, but they can't analyze beyond that for which they are programmed. So that is why, so pre-confirmation we can do with computer simulations or the cell cultures like in vitro studies. Or before going to clinical trials or human trials, we should do the preclinical trials with the lab animal models. That is why we are using lab animals for our research purpose. Then hope you all know well about what kind of animals we are using for lab animal research depends. So depends upon our research protocol. We can use the animal models, whether it is a rat, mice, guinea pig, or rabbit, or even dogs, cats, rabbits, farm animals, fish, frogs, like zebrafish, birds, non-human primates. Depends. So based on your research protocol, you have to choose the right animal model. Okay, we can use. Yet mice are the universal model, or the mice, rat, and hamsters universal model. Almost 90% of the lab animal research we are using mice and rats, guinea pig and rabbits only. So any kind of animals, but relevant to your work, based on your literature or based on your previous work or based on your research protocol, you can choose the animal models. General, in general, in lab animal facility, normally four different species like mice, rat, guinea pig, and rabbit we are using. So wherever, okay, what type of animals we are going to use? First, we should know the basic characteristic features of some lab animals. Then only we can able to choose the right animal model. For example, for our research purpose, we required 5 ml of blood per test for analyzing the biochemical parameters or whatever may be. If the animal model is mice, definitely we won't get because the total blood volume itself is 5 to 6 ml only. Then how can we collect the blood sample from that tested animals 5 to 5 ml up to 5 ml? Certainly not possible. That is why, if we know the fundamental, like basic characteristic features of such animal model, then only we can able to choose, we can able to select right animal model for our research protocol. So right animal model is very much important for the completion of successful completion of our research work. So in that case, the mice is generally 90% of the lab animals. So the lab animal research mice is used. This is why I am displaying this taxonomical position of the animal, mice, let's say kingdom, phylum, class, order, etc., etc. So from that, hope you all know well, from that taxonomical position itself, we can get the basic fundamental characteristic features of such animal models like what is adult body weight, lifespan, body temperature, chromosome numbers, water intake. These are the basic characteristic features of mice model. At least we should know these basic characteristic features of lab animal models before selecting the animal model for research protocol. That is very most important. So, what kind of animals means? That is any kind of animals we can use. These are the four species widely used in research. That's a rat, mice, rabbit, and guinea pig. So, I am not going to tell about these details of these animal models because my topic is introduction to vivarium. That is where. So, this question. So, first question: what is animal research? Any experiment involving lab animals or animals, we call it as animal research. And the second one, who can do animal research? Anyone can do animal research, but after getting the proper approval of the research protocol as well as the facility, they can do. Then, what kind of animals we can use? It depends upon our research protocol. We can choose any type of animals. Mostly in the lab animals, rat, mice, guinea pig, and rabbits are widely used. Then where we can do? That is very much important. For example, I have research protocol which is approved by the concerned authority. I have animals. I have lab. Can I do? Can I start my experiment with the lab animal models? No. Your facility, animal research facility, your lab facility, you are going to do your animal research work should be approved by the authority, that is CPCSCA, Committee for the Purpose of Control and Supervision on Animals, which is under Animal Welfare Division, Ministry of Environment Forest. Okay. So we have to get the approval. So where the place we are going to do our animal research, that place is called lab animal facility. That facility should be approved by CPCSCA. So simply a place where lab animals are maintained and used for experimentation. So your animal maintenance area should be approved by the authority. Then your experiment should also, your research protocol should also approved by the CPCSCA. That is a CPCSCA and the GLP certified lab regulatory we can do our research work. So vivarium, it's a Latin word, nothing but the animal holding or animal maintenance area. Especially wherever we are talking about the lab animal maintenance area or experimental animal maintenance area. That is very most important. You know, in Tamil, சுவர் இருந்தால்தான் சித்திரம் வரைய முடியும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. So without having the proper animal lab or approved animal lab, okay, without having the research facility, animal research facility, we can't able to execute our research for animal research protocol. So that is why vivarium is very most important. If we follow the guidelines as per the CPCSCA norms, we can get the approval for our research facility, animal research facility. Unless otherwise, we can't get the approval from CPCSCA, the concerned authority. Without getting the approval for our research facility, we can't able to even hold the animals in our research lab. So after getting the approval for our animal facility only, we can apply for our research protocol approval. After that, we can able to start the animal experimentation or animal experiment program. So the goal of the vivarium is to promote the humane care of animals used in biomedical and behavioral research. That's very most important. That's the meaning of vivarium. So the vivarium, the animal house facility, should be having the number of rooms such as for quarantine, basic, breeding, experimental procedure, as well as operation theatre, necropsy, sterilization room, wash area, feed store, and general store. If we have these different types of rooms, then only we can able to even apply for animal facility approval. What do you mean by quarantine? For example, if you are going to procure the animals from other research facility for research purpose, we have to first quarantine the animals. We have to first confirm the health status of the animal. After that only we can able to move the animals, newly procured animals from quarantine to stock area. That is a basic stock area. If you want to breed ourselves, okay, in our facility, if you want to breed the animals, okay, we have to get the approval from the CPCSCA for breeding approval also. So for that, we have to get the separate breeding area. Then experimental area, we have to well sophisticated or good area, experimental area that is called operation theatre or procedure room, simply we call it as. The necropsy area, for example, histopathological analysis, we go to sacrifice animals, we go to, there is a post-mortem studies, we go to do with the necropsy area. Then the sterilization room, wash area, feed store, general stores, all are essential for getting the approval for our research facility or for our lab animal facility. Simply we call it as vivarium. Then the physical facilities. What are the physical facilities we have to fix in the animal house facility in vivarium? The facilities should be well planned. That's a properly maintained facility. It's an important element in good animal care. We have to concentrate on building materials, which are fireproof, corridors, clean corridors, return corridors, utility area, even animal room doors, that is the entry and exit doors, exterior windows for ventilation purpose, floors, there is antimicrobial floor, that is epoxy or PU flooring, that's very most important, drains, walls, ceilings, that's a code, the walls and the ceilings are very most important. Storage areas, facilities for sanitary equipment and supplies and economical area. These are the very most important physical facilities. If we fulfill the norms of as per the CPCSA norms, the physical facilities, then only we can get the approval from CPCSA. After that only we can able to hold the animals. After that only we can able to apply for our research projects approval. After that only we can able to do our research, preclinical research. In the vivarium, we have to maintain this kind of parameters like temperature, humidity, ventilation, power and lighting, noise control, and microbial control. The temperature should be, the thing is wrong, there's a 24 or 26 to 29 degrees Celsius we have to maintain. This temperature can be, we can maintain as per the animal body's temperature. So that is why I showed you the basic characteristic features we should know. So based on that, the body temperature of the animal, we can able to maintain the room temperature, this animal room temperature itself. Then the ventilation is 12 to 15 air cycles. Then only we can able to maintain the air with a sufficient amount of oxygen. And the power and the lighting should be less than 400 lux. Then only the animal can able to see without any irritating. The noise control that is less than 85 decibels, and the microphone controls the HEPA filtered air conditioned air we have to supply to the animal rooms. Why we are maintaining this kind of environment to the animal models? If we are maintaining the animals in the sophisticated environment, then only the animals are living in stress-free condition. If you are going to do with our experiments in the stress-free animal, then only we can able to get the exact or good result. If the animals are not maintained properly, the animals will feel stress. If you are going to use the stressful animals for a research purpose, definitely we won't get the good result. That is why the environment is very most important. Environmental parameters maintenance is very most important. So as per CPCACA guidelines or norms, we have to maintain these parameters without fail. These parameters are mandate for maintaining the vivarium. Further, the animal husbandry of the animal house facility is very most important. You know, the social environment, the animals are social animals. We should maintain the lab animals in the colony only, not in the single. For example, single case, single animals. I have sufficient number of cages. That is why to avoid cannibalism issues, to avoid such watering and feeding issues, I am going to maintain the animals individually. One animal in one cage. No, the animal will feel very stressed. So because they are social animals, we have to maintain social environment, not in a huge population. For example, in one polypropylene cages, we can maintain maximum of 5 rats and 10 mice only. Instead of 5, we should not maintain 10 animals or 15 animals because the particular area is not sufficient for the animal models. That is why sufficient area and the social environment we have to give. Then only we can able to maintain the animals in a stress-free environment. That is very most important. Further, if you are going to maintain the animal in our animal facility, we have to watch the leadership quality of the animals. For example, cannibalism may be the biggest. Even in the animals also, the leadership quality, if the two leadership quality male or two leadership quality female occur in the same cages, definitely they will fight. So we have to keenly watch, daily watch the animals. If any fighting or if any wound is there, we have to separate the animals. That is very most important. We have to maintain the social environment is important, as well as we are going to observe any cannibalic activities are there. So that is also very most important. Then the activity area, that is very most important. We have to give some play tools inside the cages. Then only the animal can able to move. I hope you know well about this, that the whole the world for the rat and mice model is that is 1.5 to 2 feet size cages only. So we should give all the very good parameters for the animals for the stress-free lifestyle. Then the food and water, we have to give the food and water. There's a nutritious food, not contaminated food, the water, the potable water, without you ad libitum. Then the bedding, water, sanitation, and the cleanliness is very most important. Waste disposal is also very most important. We have to get the waste disposal agreement with the local authority for disposing the bio waste. Then pest control is also very most important because the rodent, there is a smell, is very most attractive for reptiles. So we have to keenly monitor. Our research facilities should be having the pest control facility. disposal and waste management are also very much important for maintaining the animal waste facility. That is also very much important because each and every year inspection will be there by CPCC and nominees. So these are the so just how can we apply for that animal waste facility approval and other parameters? What are the guidelines we have to follow? Just you go through the CPCA website. In the last slide, I will show you. You can get the full details. So the animal waste facility should be followed as per the area guidelines or norms. Then only we can able to get the approval. Then only we can able to maintain the animals in the stress-free environment. Then the next question: there is a when can animals we can use it? When there are no other alternatives. I can confirm the test I can do with that animal model only. In such occasion, that occasion we can use the animal models. So there is no other alternatives. We can use animal models. When confirmation has been made that research activities are not unnecessarily duplicated. That is, for example, in other area, one person completed this kind of animal experiment. Just I want to confirm. Just I want to replicate. Just I want to repeat that experiment. Definitely, the committee won't accept you. Won't give permission. So your problem should be novel. Then on such occasions you can do. Experiments involving animals are relevant to human or animal health, will advance the scientific knowledge or will be good for society. So I having the research protocols, but I don't know whether it is useful one or not. Just I want to check my research protocol to animal models. No, the committee won't give approval. So your research protocol should be novel. Your research protocol should be beneficial to the human or animal society. Further, I have the research protocol after following literature searches and comparison of data to previous research, then following computer model simulations and in vitro studies. After getting the CPCA approval, we can do lab animal research. After getting the proper training and education on the handling, care, and use of fungal models, I can start or we can do our research, lab animal research, but before human clinical testing. That is very most important. For example, if one particular drug is already marketing in the using in the human being, so I want to check that particular drug to the animal models already which is used in the human trials. Then why can go for this animal model? Simply they won't allow you. So your research protocol should be new or novel. So hope you all know well about the almost 250 million animals are used in research purpose every year. So while doing animal research, we have to follow these three R's. That is very most important. There is a refinement. There is a improve our research protocol. It's quality of our research protocol. Then the replacement, we have to find an alternative for animal models because unnecessarily, unwantedly, we are not having rights to kill the animals. We are not having the rights to sacrifice the animals. So you have to find a replacement. For example, non-animal methods to achieve the same scientific aim. That is, first one is the refinement, replacement, and reduction. So we can't use, we are not the animal ethical committee won't allow you to use more number of animals. So with the minimal number of animals, you have to get the good result by using statistical tools. That is reduction. Try to reduce the animals and get the good result with the help of statistical tools. There's a three R's: refinement, replacement, and reduction we have to follow. So ethical guidance, I think ethical guidelines, one of my friend, very well is going to take the session. So I'm not going to discuss the ethical guidance followed by the Robert Animal Research. So ethical guidance will be taken by Dr. Vadivelan. Though finally the in vitro systems to replace or reduce the number of animals only should be wherever possible. So that is alternate. So we can use in vitro system to replace the animals. The committee will suggest you first you have to finish your research, complete your research protocol, or get the confirmation of your research protocol with the in vitro system. Then you come for the lab animal research. They will suggest. So this is the governing body. There is a committee for the purpose of control and the supervision of experiments on animals. There is a CPCA for getting the approval of our vivarium. It's a lab animal facility. So which is under Animal Welfare Division, it's the Ministry of Environment, Forest, Government of India, New Delhi. So we should get the approval from this governing body for our lab animal facility vivarium. So CPCAC is nothing but a regulatory body functioning under the Animal Welfare Division. I already told you, So every institute carrying out experiments on animals is required to get itself registered with the CPCACA. That means that lab animal facility or vivarium should be registered with the CPCACA and seek approval for the CPC before conducting any research protocol related to animal experimentation. So without getting the approval for our research facility or vivarium, we can't execute our research problems in our institution or lab. So next one is the IAEC. So first, for example, I can get the approval for my research facility. Can I do my experiments directly to the lab animals? No. Your facility is registered. Your facility is approved by CPCACA, not your protocol. For your research protocol, you have to individually apply for IAEC approval. The institutional animal ethical committee will be comprised. There will be constituted by the CPCACA, the 3 nominees from CPCACA and the remaining 6 nominees from your own institution. The constituted the IAEC. The IAEC will scrutinize your research protocol. The IAEC will again confirm your research facility is suitable for holding the animals, your research facility is suitable for maintaining the animal, or your research facility is suitable, good for doing lab animal research like surgical procedures, everything. After getting the confirm these things only, they will approve your research protocol and they will give the IAEC approval number. Then after that only we can do our research lab animal research protocol. That is institutional animal ethical committee. Each and every institution should have this IAEC for approval. In case of large animals like dogs and goats, sheep, and even large animals, we have to get the approval directly from CPCACA. That is a subcommittee for large animals. That is SCLA. There's a protocols related to large animals approved by the concerned IAEs are referred to subcommittee on large animals, CPCACA, and New Delhi. So these are the 5 questions answered. That is, what is animal research? Who can do animal research? When we can do animal research? Where? That is a vivarium. Where we can do animal research? Then what are the procedures we go to follow while doing animal research or while maintaining the vivarium? So no proposal for animal experimentation would be entertained unless the animal house facility, that is a vivarium, of the concerned establishment has been approved by competent authority. Further, your research protocol also approved by the concerned IAEC. So these are some applications are also available. I think the ethical issues that Dr. Vadivelu will take care of that. So how can we follow the ethical guidelines? And what are the applications available in the CPCACA? Record maintenance is also very most important for vivarium running. So from this brief introduction, we conclude. So for vivarium, introduction to vivarium, there is vivarium and there is nothing but a lab animal facility. For lab animal facility, we have to strictly follow the guidelines of CPCACA. So we have to get the approval. We should get the approval from the CPCACA. We have to register our research facility, lab animal facility with the CPCACA. Then only we can able to maintain the animals. Then only we can able to execute. We can do our animal research protocol in the lab animal facility. So I think it's a vast field. If you want to go further details, okay, just you Google CPCACA. There is a committee for the purpose of control and supervision of experiment on animals. In the home page, you can get online services, forms, action rules. There's a guidelines. In that guidelines, easily we can get the full details of CPCACA. What are the guidelines? What are the rules? Okay, we have to follow, strictly followed while we are maintaining a vivarium in our research institute. So, as I told you, சுவர் இருந்தால்தான் சித்திரம் வரைய முடியும். If you have the well developed, if you have the sophisticated, if you have the government approved SCPCC approved lab animal facility only we can do preclinical trials with the lab animal models. So from these things regarding the vivarium, I conclude. I finish my talk. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you, Anadal.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your wonderful session. Now this topic is open for discussion. Please. The audience can ask questions by coming on, or you can post your question to the chat box. Audience are requested to post their question to chat box, or they can unmute themselves and come online.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Any questions, sir?
So there is a question. One question from Mahadevan Swami.
Please, sir.
The question is in silico studies are good than animal study? Please, he is requesting your suggestion.
Pardon? In silico studies? Hello.
The question is in silico studies are good or animal study is good? He is requesting your suggestions.
Before going to clinical trials, the animal studies are mandate. That is very most important. So for confirmation purpose, in silico studies we have to do. For preclinical trials, in silico studies we have to do. For clinical trials are directly going to human trials. The preclinical trials are very most important, especially in the field of drug discovery or toxicity studies. So we have to do preclinical trials. Nowadays, the CROs, the contract research organizations, they are going to confirm the cosmetic testing with animal models only. I already told the cosmetic testings or drug testing with animal models as per the OECD guidelines. So it depends. Depends on your research protocol. Okay, we have to, for example, in case of human trials or human drugs, we have to complete the preclinical trials with the lab animal model. That is very most important. That is mandate also. Hello.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
There is another question from Priya. The question is any restriction for getting animals as limited numbers, sir?
Not restriction. The ethical committee gives suggestions. For example, the statistical purpose minimum of 6 numbers enough. In case, if you, for example, if you are doing the diabetic studies, okay, the mortality may be there. Definitely, they will give more number of animals for our research per group. So they are going to based on your in vitro study result or based on your research literature based on the OECD guidelines. They will suggest, they will allot animals, sufficient number of animals. So from that numbers we can statistically able to confirm our result. There is no restrictions. Depends on your justification. You go to the PA or the principal investigator has to justify the requirement of animals. After proper justification of the requirement, definitely they will sanction the number of animals. Hello.
Yes, thank you, sir. Yes, sir. And there is another question from Viji Thiru. Yes. The question is, how to avoid any infections from animals during study?
That is why I am telling the vivarium maintenance, that is very most important. That is the temperature, light, lux, everything we have to maintain the proper environment. So if you are following the proper guidelines, okay, definitely we can maintain the animals in the healthy status only. Further, the animal house should have the full-time veterinarian or visiting veterinarian. The veterinarian and the animal handlers are a trained person, animal in charge of the animal facility, should routinely, daily monitor the health status of the animals. In case if there is any abnormalities are there, definitely the veterinarian should take care of them. If any infection or disease, then immediately we have to separate the animals from that colony. So we have to give proper medication to the animals. That is why each and every animal facility should have the full-time veterinarian, should have the trained scientist in charge. So if you are maintaining the animal facility in the proper condition, definitely the animal won't get any infection. I'm sure. Would you understand, please? Hello?
Thank you, sir.
Yes, please.
So, does audience have any other questions? You can post in chat box or you can come online. Okay, so if there is no questions from the audience,
Okay,
I would like
thank
to
you.
thank Dr. Selvaraj for your nice presentation, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Now,
Thank you.
Jimmy, we can go for our next presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Pandian,
Yes, sir.
we have
There
more
are few more
questions in the,
questions.
yeah, few more questions.
Ah, yeah, okay. Dr. Devaraj?
Hello.
There
Yes,
are
sir.
a few
If you
more
have,
questions. Yash perspective, does CPCSEA provide normal standardized values of mice, rats? Examples like lipid profile, body weight, blood sugar, organ weight, which can be used to
Yes, sir.
confirm biological variants.
Yeah. It's available in the CPCCA website. The CPCCA guidelines, the normal blood parameters or physical parameter, all are available in the CPCCA guidelines.
Okay.
Hello.
Sir. And
Can you hear,
another
sir?
question is,
Yeah, please.
sir, another question. Can organ-on-chip studies replace the use of animal models? Organ-on-chips kind of studies
Yes, sir.
replace PHIPS.
It does not replace the use of animals, but we could confirm. So before going to preclinical trials with the lab animal models, we could confirm the effectiveness or what it may be. So after getting confirmation, easily we can execute our research with the lab animal models. So, for example, if you don't know the previous, we don't have any previous result with that, okay, whether it's a in vitro study or computer simulations. So, if you are going to test with animal models, in case the result is negative, we are unnecessarily sacrificing animals. To avoid such issues, we have to confirm the effectiveness or confirm the our research result with such kind of tools like in vitro studies.
Okay, sir. There's another question, sir, from King
Yes,
Solomon Ebenezer.
Yes,
Answering to Dr. Hartman Swami, this is not a question, a point.
Sir, your voice.
Hello. Am I audible now?
Yeah, please. Now, please tell me one second, sir.
He has, Mr. King Solomon Ebenezer has added a point to the question of Mahadevan Swami.
Yes,
that
yes,
the
please.
in silico is only to identify the drug alerts and then to detect some toxicity level. But preclinical animal study is mandatory for getting the toxicity level of confirmation in animals because it will vary from in silico results. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That's why I'm telling. That's why. Yes, sure.
Sir, another question, sir. Since there are too many questions, I'm just rushing it up.
Please.
It's from Adira Jairaj. Sir, should we can do research work on any time on animals, or is there a light maintenance? Or what I understand from the question is that can the animals be worked with any time, or during the daytime or night time, or any particular time is there?
I think no any particular times, because you know that the rodents are nocturnal animals. That's night active animals.
Yes.
But we are maintaining the animal. We are maintaining the animal 12 day and dark, light and dark cycle. We are maintaining properly. So no
Yes,
need.
sir.
In case if any phototoxic studies are is maybe okay there okay depends your research protocol only the PA has to decide.
Ah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for
Yes,
that
sir.
answer. And another question, sir, from Ms. Shruti Sivaraman.
Yes.
The question is, what is the diet followed for the animals during the study?
Diet folks that is a recommend CPCSA recommended diet. We can't use the normal diet. We have to get the procure the feed from the registered vendors. That's the CPCSA registered vendors. There the nutritive values of the certified nutritive values are maintained. So we have to procure the feed from the registered vendors. We have to use that particular feed only for lab animal models. So rat, the rabbit, the different types, even the pellet size is also different. So we have to use the appropriate nutritive pellet feed, which is procured from the registered vendor.
Oh, yes, sir.
We have to use.
Okay, sir. And another question is from Lavanya Ravichandran.
Yes, sir.
The question is, sir, is animal studies is being done of each and every drug that is being discovered, or it depends upon for what disease the drug has been used discovered?
Each and every drug should be tested with animal models separately,
Yes,
individually.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's all the questions for now, sir.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much for patiently answering the questions, sir. Thank you
Thank you,
very
sir.
much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Uh, shall we move on to the next talk, Dr.
Yes, sir.
Pandian?
Yes, yes, sir. Sir, now I would like to invite Dr. Sankar Ganesh Arunachalam to introduce our next speaker, Dr. R. Vadivelan.
Thank you, Jamie. It's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Dr. R. Vadivelan. To introduce about him, his graduation is in pharmacy and post-graduation in pharmacology. He specialized in pharmacology from MGR Medical University, Chennai, in the year 2000 and 2002. He has been awarded PhD in pharmaceutical sciences from JSS University, Mysuru in 2013, and also he is recognized as FIC from ICS Kolkata. He has completed FEFLASA accredited CCLAS course at Tanuvas, Chennai. He has 18 years of professional experience, and his area of research is endocrine and cardiovascular pharmacology. He received APP Best Teacher Award during 2019 at APP 8th Annual Conventional and 4th Indo-US Conference at JSS College of Pharmacy, Ooty. For his outstanding academic contributions, he received grants for National Workshop on Alternatives to Animal Testing in Drug Discovery in 2013, worth of 1.4 lakhs as a convener, and the 2 days workshop on applications of CAL techniques in experimental pharmacology, alternatives to animal testing, held in August 2015, which is worth of 1.7 lakhs. He was the convener for that program. And NAM and S&T, Science and Technology Center, research training fellowships given for developing countries scientists, RTF-BCS Award of Fellowship for 2015 and 16, which is worth of 2.7 lakhs. He has made 22 presentations and published 64 national and international research publications and authored a book entitled Practical Handbook of Human Physiology. As a resource person, he has delivered more than 20 lectures in various institutions in the areas of preclinical pharmacology. He had guided 27 postgraduates and he has guided 2 PhD scholars. He is the president of present president of Indian Pharmaceutical Association, Nilgiris branch, and life member of IPHA, IHPA, IPA, LASA, and APP. And other significant contributions are as principal investigator, he carried out consultancy work on preclinical studies, including dermal, diabetic, and toxicity studies, and he is also a PPPSEA nominee. Now I welcome Dr. Vadivelan to give his presentation. Welcome, sir.
Sir, Dr. Sir, Vadivelan sir. என்ன ஆப்ஷன் சார்? என்ன ஆப்ஷன்? Sir, we are seeing your PPT. Sir, I think your voice is not audible.